Hi everyone, Seth Weil here from Seth Weil's Martial Arts. I know you're probably getting a little restless with the self-quarantine due to the coronavirus. So we're gonna go over some techniques and things you can do to kind of get you moving around. You don't need a lot of room. You can practice these techniques right in your own home or in your backyard. And then if you have a heavy bag, we're gonna work those same drills on the heavy bag as well. So we're gonna start off with our basic stance. So we're going to do the on guard position, strong side forward. So remember in Jeet Kune, if you are right-handed, you're going to have that right side forward. If you happen to be left-handed, you're going to put that left side forward. So generally, we put the strong side forward, think like a fencer. So Bruce Lee described Jeet Kune as fencing without the sword. So if I'm right-handed, I would have a sword in my right hand. So we're going to be doing that same thing, that strong side is forward. I want my stance a little wider than shoulders width apart. I'm gonna keep my body sideways, kind of off at slightly a 45-degree angle. I'm gonna have my hands occupying that center line. So my stance is kind of more of a toe to arch stance. So if I use the line here, the seam of the mat, my lead foot, my right foot toes are gonna be right on the line. And that line's gonna run right under the arch of my rear foot with that rear heel slightly up off the ground, about a ½ inch to an inch. And I want to keep my knees bent. So this way I have some spring and some movement to be able to push off. My hands are in the center line, directly in front of my face. So my lead hand is halfway out to the target. My elbow is going to be roughly about a fist distance to away from my body. And my rear hand is directly in front of my face. So if I'm moving forward, my lead leg, my right leg's gonna step out, and then I'm gonna slide that rear foot. To move back, my back foot steps back, and I slide the rear. So this is what we call the shuffle. You're just step, slide, moving back, steps, slide. So you can kind of use this itself as an exercise to practice at home. Moving forward and back, really focus on keeping that rear heel up off the ground. Now with my hand, my lead hand halfway out to the target, I want to let it come right from here, and my hand gets moving first. So my hand moves, and then I'm going to slightly push off that rear foot on the ball of the foot and shift that weight forward. So my fist to my rear shoulder is in a nice straight line. My rear toes are facing behind me, and I want to keep this hand right in front of my face. And then from here, I'm pulling this elbow back in, and I kick that heel on that rear foot back out. So from here, my hand gets going, and then I let the rest of the body follow. And then from here, I'm going to pull it right back in. My rear hand, again, I want to keep it right in front of my face. Basically think of kind of your thumb is right about at your shoulder, your lead shoulder here. So as I turn, I want to make sure that my hand is protecting my face. If my hand's here and as I turn, it starts drifting off, I'm not protecting my face because this is the line of attack that my opponent can hit me. So I always want to make sure that my hand is in between me and my opponent. So it's always guarding my face. It's not doing any good being over here, right, or down here. Now if I do it with the footwork, as I'm moving forward and back, when I come in, my punch goes, then I take that little step, and I want to try to let my hand land a split second before my foot touches. So as I go to throw my punch, my hand goes, and then I take my step in. So I'm hitting right before my foot touches the ground. Hit, and then pull back. So once I land that hit, and I'm stepping down into my punch, when I pull this elbow back in, my rear foot slides, it comes right back into place. So for a split second, I'm gonna kind of have a wider stance, and then I'm coming right back in. Okay, as I come in, that heel is gonna stay up off the ground. Now as I slide and pivot, I'm always staying on the ball of the foot. This is gonna make it much easier to move. If my foot is flat and my heel's planted, I'm gonna have a lot more friction. It's like I'm dragging that foot along. So I always wanna keep that heel up off the ground, and then I'm pivoting and throwing that heel back. So again, remember, your starting point is your ending point. Okay, hand goes, I hit, then I can step back. This is a good way to, again, work that footwork, move back, hit, and back. Okay, again, I'm expanding out, and then from here, contract, pull it back in. So now we're gonna move over to the heavy bag. If you happen to have a bag at home, we're gonna work on how to implement this technique on the heavy bag. So the first thing we wanna focus on is how to hit the bag. So you wanna make sure that since we're throwing with the vertical fist, you're hitting with the bottom 3 knuckles. If we were turning a punch over like a boxer does a jab, I'd be hitting with my pointer and middle finger knuckle. The other important thing to remember is I wanna hit 2 to 3 inches or a fist distance through the target. So if you're finding that you're just barely hitting the bag when you're fully reached out, you're out too far, you gotta get a little closer to the bag. So find that right distance where you're just able to touch, and when you twist through, you're gonna be able to follow through the bag. So I'm gonna aim right here where this T is, figuring that's gonna be basically right at about my face level. So my hand moves first, the rest of the body follows, then I'm gonna pull it back in. Okay, again, hand moves, throw it, and pull it back. Okay, stay nice and relaxed, and back in. You don't need to rush this, we're working technique. Take your time, hands up. If I make a real tight fist, wasting a lot of energy, it's gonna be kind of like a big thud versus a crack or getting like a whip, getting that snap. Get used to finding that distance. After a while, you'll know I can hit someone right from here. You don't end up being too close where you're jamming that punch, or too far out and you go to hit someone and you fall short. After you do that, then you can add in the footwork. If I'm able to make contact here, I take that step back. I'm just outside of that reach, so now I'm gonna have to use my footwork, take that step and slide, do that shuffle to close that gap. So as I'm back here, I push off that back foot. My lead hand gets moving first, and I move in. So I really wanna try to expand out, and then contract, pull it right back in. Hand moves first, and right back in. Stay relaxed, remember to breathe, take your time, work these techniques. Thanks for watching. Hope this gives you some good content to practice at home during this coronavirus, and we'll be continuing to upload more videos in the weeks to come. Make sure to visit us at martialartschico.com.